My wife is convinced she's pregnant after years of trying, but every test says otherwise, and now she's accusing me of planning to abandon her and the baby because I'm not as committed as she is. My wife, 38 female, and I, 42 male, have been married for 2 years but together for 15. In all that time, we hadn't really decided on kids. Sometimes we thought about it, but either we weren't ready or there were issues getting pregnant. After trying for a while and doing some medical tests, we found out it was pretty much impossible for us to conceive naturally due to some medical complications on her side. That news hit us hard. We even started thinking about adoption. Then one day, completely out of the blue, she came home and told me she was pregnant. I was shocked but also incredibly happy. I mean, this was the news we'd been hoping for, right? I was over the moon, and for the first time in a long time, it felt like maybe we'd been given this amazing chance. A week later, we went to the gynecologist for a routine appointment. They drew her blood, and when the results came back negative, I was devastated. I figured that was it, and I was mentally trying to prepare myself for the disappointment. But she didn't seem upset at all. In fact, she was completely convinced the doctor was wrong. She insisted that she was pregnant and the tests just weren't picking it up for some reason. I thought maybe she was just in shock or something, but over the next few days, it got stranger. We bought a couple of pregnancy tests at the store, just to double check, and they all came back negative. Every single one. But my wife still refuses to believe it. She's now convinced we're having twins. She's gone all in, talking about names, buying baby clothes, and even picking out nursery themes. It's like she's living in this alternate reality where none of the tests or the doctor's words matter. She's even started pressuring me to help with the nursery, as if these imaginary twins are going to arrive any day now. And because I haven't been jumping on board with her plans, she's starting to say things like, "I knew you'd abandon us," or, "I guess I'll have to do this all on my own." I'm lost. I love her, but I have no idea how to handle this. What the heck is going on? Edit. I have tried talking her into therapy but she accuses me of gaslighting her. Edit number 2. Thank you guys, you really helped me out. Yesterday was a bad day and you helped me get clarity. I've had a chat with our doctor who will now be handling this with us. I would like to thank most of you with useful advice and hopefully I will be able to update good news someday. But a screw you to those that said I should divorce her because she is crazy, and an extra screw you to the guy that used this post to push his anti-abortion agenda. Relevant comment. This sounds like it could be a pseudo-pregnancy. I learned about this in our gynecologist basic science portion of med school. Never saw it mentioned again outside our textbook, but it's a very real psychological phenomena. It can happen in animals too. Usually an ultrasound to show that the uterus is empty is curative. Devastating but curative. She needs help from a gynecologist and a psychiatrist. You're probably going to need to start with a gynecologist because she'll be in denial about it being a psych issue but would go to a gynecologist for her pregnancy. Give the gynecologist a heads up before the appointment about what you're dealing with and they can help with a plan to put a psych consult in motion. Involuntary if need be, but again, the ultrasound could shake her back. You should know that she'll mourn the loss, likely as if it was a real loss of twins. Good luck, OP. Update 7 days later, I called up our primary doctor and told him about the problem. He seemed very concerned and wanted us to come see him the next morning. He said it was important to be gentle but not feed into her delusions. I sat her down and we talked. All she wanted to talk about is when I would get the nursery started and that we were on a time crunch, and how she has found a perfect color for the room, how she wants me to be more involved in her pregnancy. I tried to stay calm, but seeing her like that really unsettled me. I asked her to go to the doctor with me tomorrow. She said yes, that she wanted to check on the babies either way. Now I took some advice and words you gave me about being calm and asking a bit why she thinks she is pregnant without calling her delusional. So I did. She kept changing subjects or saying that a mother just feels it. You wouldn't know how it is. Then I said that I loved her really much, that I would never think of leaving her, but we needed to go to the doctor to confirm her gut feeling. She got very agitated and was crying, telling me that if I wanted to leave her I should simply leave, but I shouldn't call her a liar. Somehow I managed to calm her down enough for her to go to sleep. After she did, I went on her computer. I never snoop on her, but I remembered a commenter pointing out forums about cryptic pregnancy, and so I went for the lookout. Oh boy. She was in 2 Facebook groups. One was a normal mommy Facebook group and the other was a group about women that believed they were pregnant. In the normal group she would post updates about her symptoms and pictures of her belly and her story about how she was almost not able to have children, but that's to the grace of God that kissed her tummy, the gift of life was given to her, and how she was compensated for all this years of suffering with twins. In the other group the women were quite literally, and excuse me here, freaking insane. They were feeding in each other's delusions. A woman said that she was almost 2 years pregnant and how sometimes it just takes longer. My wife would post there complaining about doctors that do not take her seriously and about me. So many women were making her fear that I would leave, saying things like men cannot stick to a woman. Many recounted their stories about how their marriages broke down because their spouses could not handle the pregnancy. I was really scared. I researched phantom pregnancies and I read somewhere that could also be a sign of schizophrenia. So to say the least I could not sleep. I was and am still very afraid of losing her. She woke up and I tried to act like nothing was wrong. We were going to the doctor. And it was as if nothing had happened yesterday. She was convinced that we were going to a pregnancy checkup. Things got really bad when we began talking to the doctor. He was really tactful when talking to my wife. He tried to explain to her that it was medically impossible that she was pregnant. We tried to show her tests, the ultrasound we did the day before, but nothing. She got more agitated and began to cry and scream at me for making her look like a crazy person. She began bouncing back and forth and holding her head with both hands. We could not calm her. She went in on a full-on panic attack. She could not breathe. The doctor laid her down and tried giving her some medicine for her to relax, but it did not help as he didn't have the necessary tools to treat a panic attack that was that bad. She had to go to the hospital where they took care of her. Did an EKG to exclude that she was suffering a heart attack. At that point I really had no other option than to inquire about involuntary commit. So I could not do it myself. I needed my doctor's statement that she was a danger to herself and others, and he had to initiate the process of an involuntary examination of 72 hours. After that we will have to submit a written statement to the court to determine whether or not she can stay there against her will. So far I have submitted all her posts in both Facebook groups as well as the test we did with timestamps when possible. My wife is 2 days in the 3 days examination and I have no contact to her. When I last saw her, she was furious with me. She said I was taking away her freedom, which I am. I felt horrible, dirty and useless. She is so mad at me. I feel like I am abandoning her and don't know how she will ever forgive me. I love her with all my heart. I am afraid of what will happen if the courts decide that I can't commit her, how her life will be affected. I feel like I failed to protect her. At this point I am just rambling. Sorry for the long post, I guess I just need to vent because I have no one else to really turn to that just wants to listen. I feel judged by everyone and pitied, I just hate it. Edit, I will not leave my wife, you unempathetic jerks. When I gave my vows I meant through illness and bad times. I am not only on the ride for the good times. If you truly love someone you will do whatever it takes to see them healthy again. Would you leave your spouse if they went through a severe physical illness? I am here to stay. I will not divorce her. She is not a psycho, she is sick. I hope no one of your loved ones ever has to go through this because their support net will consist of cowardly jerks. Sorry for the rant, but if you want to say something along the lines of divorce that nut, don't even bother. I understand people that make the choice to leave if the situation begins to mess with their mental health and I respect that, but I won't do that. Edit number 2, my wife didn't have a heart attack. She was examined because panic attacks register with similar symptoms as heart attacks. I don't exactly know what our doctor gave her as I was so distraught, but it was not a sedative. I think it was something along the lines of Valium or Baldrian. Over-the-counter stuff mostly. She has family. She is estranged from most of them. Her sister is now at our place to help. Also refrain from such stupid comments like I'll bet she will leave bro. She is crazy, how did you marry her, because they are not helpful at all. Especially the bets that are going on that my wife will leave me once she gets better. Just seems like you want me to divorce. Get a life. Update 8 months later. Hi guys. It's me again. We have a lot of time on our hands, so I thought why not update the community that helped me. Even if it was just to let me know that I could vent. I don't even know how much time has passed, but I am very happy to say that things are working out. I have my wife's permission to share this with you all and she is even telling me to greet you. After being in the 72-hour stay it was determined that she had to stay there. My wife was pissed for the first few weeks. It was a devastating time. But time and therapy heals all wounds. Slowly I was allowed to come visit. And every day I went, I saw a bit more of the person I loved. There were setbacks along the way and I had to watch a lot what I said and did. For example, the first few weeks she wouldn't tolerate touch or something like that. Our trust had to be regained slowly. From both parts. We put so much work in. And even now that she is back home, and has been for a while, we sometimes have bad days where it is difficult for my wife to get out of bed or where I am suspicious of her getting back into that state. But at the end of the day I am happy. We go to counseling together and we are in individual therapy as well. Especially because due to the stress I developed a form of anxiety. But every day it's a bit better. I have discovered new sides of my wife, like the new hobby that she has of making resin jewelry and decorations. Even our quarantine time has been quite peaceful. We still have remote therapy and everything. Things are not normal yet. And adoption is not back on the table as of now. We have given ourselves at least a year of therapy before we think about parenting and raising a child. One thing is for certain. I am still deeply in love with my wife and I still love her so much. Our relationship might not be better than ever, but it sure as hell is stronger than ever. Also, she has done a lot of self-reflection and of course has thanked me for how I handled things. She is lovely. We are happy, and screw everyone who wouldn't have stuck around for their partner and encouraged me to leave her. It would have been the biggest mistake I ever made.